Do you know if your child's school, daycare, or sports team has a code of conduct? Now, if your answer is, I'm not sure, or yes, but you're not sure what's in the code of conduct, you must watch this video. Today we'll be discussing why codes of conduct are so critical for youth-serving organizations and what should be included in codes of conduct. So let's get started. A code of conduct is a document that describes how staff, volunteers, and older youth will interact and conduct themselves with children. You may assume, just like I did, that every youth-serving organization has some type of code of conduct in place, but they do not. Child sexual abuse is really difficult for adults to discuss and to address. And that is why we're not seeing this very basic and effective prevention practice in place. Every youth-serving organization should have a code of conduct. I will leave some examples below of codes of conduct. There's one for volunteers, there's a few from some churches, and there's one from the YMCA. These are great resources, please check them out. So what should we be looking for in a code of conduct? Well, the first thing is guidelines on how adults and older youth should interact with children. Now, this is going to depend on the organization, the services they provide, the age of children they work with. So for example, a guideline on touching children. Some organizations may say that they do side hugs, or some may just do high fives. Or some organizations that work with infants have policies on changing them and changing their diapers. And guidelines on communication, so making sure if the organization does use technology to communicate with students, that it's public for everyone to see and there's no private conversations between adults and children. Also, guidelines on how the organization reduces or eliminates one-on-one situations with adults and children as much as possible. We discussed this in practice 4, please check it out. Then we want to make sure that the organization is doing everything they can to hire safe people and to train them to keep children safe. So we want to make sure the organization is doing reference checks on any new applicant. So they are calling past employers and asking them, is there anything about this person that would not be safe to be around children? And also when they're doing interview questions, that they're getting some insight on the fact that that person can respect children's boundaries. Also, we want to make sure the organization is doing background checks. Background checks are necessary, but the truth is, the vast majority of offenders will not have a record of abuse. And we can't assume because someone has a clean record that they are safe to be around children. So please don't let background checks give you this false sense of security. If the only thing an organization does to protect children from sexual abuse is a background check, that is not enough. Making sure that youth organizations require child sexual abuse prevention training for their staff and volunteers. I recommend Darkness to Light's Stewards of Children. It's an excellent program and it's the only extensively evaluated adult-based curriculum. Also, making sure that the organization has mandated reporter training so that all staff or volunteers know the signs of abuse, how to handle the disclosure, and how to make a report if they suspect abuse. Making sure the code of conduct is understandable. So if no one can understand it, it's useless. But just remember that staff, volunteers, parents, caregivers, they need to read it, they need to be able to apply it, they need to sign it in order for it to be effective. Codes of conduct should be displayed publicly. So on the organization's website and in the lobby as a constant reminder of the safe culture this organization is creating for children. Codes of conduct need to be updated every 1 to 2 years, especially with all the changes in technology. And we did an entire video on technology facilitated abuse on practice 3, so please check that out. Lastly, you want to make sure that your child abuse reporting policy and a contact number is listed on your code of conduct so that adults know how to report abuse. So today's prevention practice is for you to start asking about codes of conduct at your child's school or daycare or scouts or gymnastics or church or sports team, and then play an active role in getting one implemented. You could offer to start a committee. You could forward this video with the resources and the examples below to the leadership of these groups. You have the opportunity to protect so many children with this practice, so please let me know if you need help, and thank you for watching. Check out the entire series and have a great day.